Hi, it's Representative Rick Larson, and this is not the weekly recap with Rick because there's nothing to recap really that's as important as what is going on right now. And the main question I want to ask you is who is in charge? Who is in charge of the U.S. House of Representatives right now? Here on Capitol Hill, we're waiting for the House of Representatives to go back into session and waiting for the House Republican leadership to do something about funding the government. But who's in charge of this? Is it Elon Musk, the billionaire? Is it President-elect Trump, the person who is not yet president? I ask that question because Republicans, under the direction of a cosplaying President Elon Musk and a very confused president yet to be Trump, they have pulled out of the bipartisan funding agreement to keep the government funded. Congress needs to pass this bill to keep government operating and send this bill to President Biden's desk where it can be signed into law, and it has to happen by tomorrow night at 11:59 p.m. East Coast time. If we don't do that, the government will shut down. And if the government shuts down, it will clearly be on due to the hands of the Republicans. A shutdown would be devastating for the people in the communities I represent. Yes, thousands, tens of thousands of active duty military folks who live in Washington State will continue to go to work every day during a shutdown, but they will not get paid. They will not get paid, so that is what a Republican shutdown, a Musk Republican shutdown will mean. Tens of thousands of workers who work every day to ensure that the government is working for you will not get paid and will not be going to work as well. That means they won't have money to spend over Christmas. They won't have money to spend at the grocery store. They'll be biting into their savings. You, watching this, you may be one of those folks who will be biting into your savings in order to survive a potential shutdown. Women, infants, children who live in my district are, some of them are dependent upon support in order to ensure that their children grow up healthy. That kind of, those kinds of folks will be impacted negatively by the Musk Republican government shutdown. Now, I will say this, Democrats have been part of bipartisan agreements throughout the last 2 years. On the FAA bill, a strong bipartisan agreement. On the defense bill, a strong bipartisan agreement. On supporting America's foreign policy and our strong foreign policy, Democrats have been part of bipartisan agreements. We were part of the bipartisan agreement to keep the government operating as well, but it was the Republicans under Speaker Johnson who publicized the text, the final agreement, and it was the Republicans who pulled out of that final agreement as well. And that final agreement includes disaster relief for farmers in Washington State. It includes disaster relief for Washington State to repair some of the roads and highways that have been damaged in past wildfires. It includes disaster relief for the poor folks in North Carolina, Tennessee, and Florida that were victims of Hurricane Helene and Hurricane Milton. All of that is on hold now because of the desire of Elon Musk and the Republicans to shut down the government. But we stand ready to negotiate in good faith, in a bipartisan way, as we have throughout this entire Congress. But I couldn't tell you who we're supposed to negotiate with right now. Is it Speaker Johnson? Is it Elon Musk? Is it not yet President Trump? We don't know who's in charge in the Republican Party right now, and if it's any indication of the next 2 years, we're in for a lot of chaos in the House of Representatives. Meantime, middle-class Americans are being held hostage by a billionaire who's pulling the puppet strings on the president yet to be Trump. It's not a recipe for get solutions done, but I stand ready here in DC to be part of getting a resolution to this potential shutdown, which would have devastating consequences. So keep watching this space and hope to have your continued support. Thanks.